Hey guys, YouTube Hunter here. Alright, and now here I am continuing on with my Christmas reviews for this year. And now next up, for my next Christmas review, this is going to be a review for the Wonder Years Christmas episode, A Very Cutlip Christmas. So I've never actually talked about the Wonder Years before. So yeah, so I guess there is I do kind of have a reason for not talking about the Wonder Years. I really haven't really watched the Wonder Years in a very long time. I remember when I was a little kid, around 4 or 5 years old. I remember I watched the Wonder Years on Nick at Night a lot. But yeah, that was when I was really young. Like I said, I was only 4 or 5 when I would watch the Wonder Years on Nick at Night. Yeah. But since then, I haven't really gone back to the Wonder Years. I haven't really watched much of it since then. I may have caught a few episodes on TV, but yeah, I've never really come back to it watching it regularly. So I guess that's really why I've never really talked about the Wonder Years before. I just haven't not had uh watched it in a very long time. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I did decide since the Wonder Years did have a few Christmas episodes, I figured I would talk about one, and I figured that this would be the best one for me to talk about. Yeah. So this episode was this was the ninth episode of the fourth season of the show. Yeah. So the story for this episode is that of course it's Christmas time, and Kevin, the main character of the show, Kevin Arnold, who's played by Fred Savage, he discovers that his very hard nosed and very tough gym coach, Coach Cutlip. He discovers that Cutlip is actually working as a shopping mall Santa. Yeah. And when Kevin sees that Cutlip is Santa, he just discovers how Cutlip as Santa just really has a totally different just a has a totally different attitude, and he actually does act very warm and kind as Santa. Yeah. And yeah, then when Cutlip then eventually does discover that Kevin knows that he's working as a Santa, he really just acts extra nice to Kevin. He just does all these things for Kevin to really just try to get Kevin to really keep it a secret that he is working as a Santa. Yeah. But yeah, and then Kevin does a shortcut lip that he will keep it a secret, but then eventually Kevin ends up accidentally letting it slip, and his other classmates do end up eventually finding out about it. Well, they don't find out directly. Kevin just ends up uh just letting it slip that he is working at the mall, and then the Kevin's other classmates then decide that they would round up and they would go to the mall to find out what he's really doing. Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, then at the end, one of the kids, well, I guess a few of the kids do eventually learn. Well, they discover that he is a Santa, but rather than actually exposing him and giving him a hard time about it, the kids just see that they don't really see Cutlip there. They just actually see Santa, so they don't actually heckle him as Santa, and they just pretend that they don't see Cutlip as Santa and just pre- pretend to continue to look for him. So yeah, and that really is the premise of this episode. So it is a relatively simple story that this episode tells. But yeah, I think that they do a pretty good job with that. I This really is an example of despite a person that you may know, despite the fact that they may act one way, maybe not the nicest person in the world, and maybe they do do kind of like act like very rough and not really nice, like you can see like they may have like another side to them working a job like this because yeah, there have been a lot of times where like people that really don't seem like the friendliest, they do get a job like this, like working as a shopping mall Santa, and yeah, and they really just do have like a very different attitude to them. Like it's not something like Bad Santa where like just it's like he is like Santa, but just like not really like bright and not really just like a pretty rotten Santa. Yeah, it's not anything like that. Like it really shows like like Cutlip does act like very warm and kind to children at when he's Santa. He really does act as if he really is Santa. Yeah, so I do think that this episode does a pretty good job of really like just showing how Cutlip can have another side to him, other than just like being like the very tough coach that he is to Kevin and all his other classmates. So this episode really doesn't even really like focus on Kevin's family. Like really like just none of his family really are in this episode other than his mom. Like yeah, like his dad Jack is not in this episode. His brother Wayne is not in this episode. Even like Kevin's best friend Paul, he's not really in the episode either. So yeah, so I do find that like kind of odd that like this like the show's main cast really does not really appear in this episode at all. Like this, the focus of this episode really is just on Kevin and Cutlip. So yeah, so yes, but I just found it like really kind of like unusual that like just the main cast of the show really doesn't have much, really doesn't appear in this episode other than like Kevin and his mother like appears in the episode too. Yeah, that's really it because yeah, like yeah, because I remember like in a lot of episodes of the Wonder Years, like Kevin would always kind of like just like his dad Jack would like kind of like always be in the episodes, and he would kind of like be like kind of like rough on Kevin at times. Yeah, and of course his brother Wayne was pretty much like always heckle Kevin, really just like always like pick on him and stuff. Yeah, but yeah, they're not even in this episode. Yeah. Now, like I said, only Kevin's mom does appear in the episode. Like it shows like they're like Kevin and his mom are doing like Christmas shopping, and yeah, and she's like there's like this bit like in the episode where like she wants to get Kevin a tie, and like and stuff. Yeah, but yeah, and that's really like it. Like Kevin, like I said, like none of like Kevin's other family are in this episode, or even Paul, he's not in the episode, and even Winnie, she's not in the episode either. Yeah, yeah, so really just that's really odd that just like pretty much this like the majority of the show's main cast does not appear in this episode. So I just find that really odd. Yeah. But yeah, I do think that this episode does overall do a pretty good job of telling the story that it does. Like, I do kind of like that it shows like the Cutlip really does have like two different sides of him with the tough gym coach that like he is like constantly in the show, but here we see that he does have a different side to him. Yeah, I remember Nostalgia Critic once again, like I was saying, like in my Fred Claus review, Nostalgia Critic like did put well, he did talk about this episode when he was doing the countdown of the top 12 Santa Clauses. He included a Cutlip from this episode in that list. Yeah, and he really did talk about like how like good Cutlip really was a Santa, and yeah, and he really is. Yeah, he really does a good job of being Santa. Yeah, and it is. I kind of do like how he really is like trying to keep it a secret because at one point he does like early on when Kevin first does discover that Cutlip is Santa, like he kind of does like go hiding in the in his like quote unquote shop uh for a while to try to like cover up so Kevin really doesn't even see more of him. Yeah, and even like at the end of this episode when like Kevin and his classmates do like come to the mall to try to find Cutlip. Cutlip, like, well, Kevin does like rush like to Cutlip to just explain to him what went on. Yeah, and even like he like tried to tell Cutlip that he may want to go hiding, so the other kids wouldn't see him. But yeah, Cutlip just said there isn't any of that. Like there is like just hiding is not an option. option for him. So yeah, so he just stood there and kind of just like let all the other boys come and look for him. And then yeah, then like I said, at the end of the episode, it shows like how there are like a few of Kevin's classmates that do like discover that it is Cutlip as Santa. But yeah, when they are looking at him, uh, they really like they didn't really see Cutlip. They just saw like Santa there. Yeah. So yeah, and like I said, like just like seeing him in the Santa suit, they really can't actually do it because they do see how he's really like making children happy. So yeah, the episode just like ends with just the three of them just like pretending not to see Cutlip, and they just like walk off and just continue to pretend to continue to search for him. Yeah. So I do like that. Like you could like see somebody like you could find out that somebody is actually like like a working as a store Santa. But yeah, when you do see them in the Santa outfit, you could actually like see them like actually as Santa and not as just themselves. Yeah. So yeah, so I do like that this episode really kind of like does like send that message across to people. Yeah. So yeah. So not really too much else to really say about this episode. Like it does like the story is like pretty simple, but yeah, it does a pretty good job of telling this story, and yeah, and it is sending a good message, I think. Yeah. So just yeah, I just don't know what else I can really say. But yeah, I do think that it is pretty good. Yeah, and if you haven't seen it before, I would give it a recommendation. So yeah, if you haven't seen this before, give it a watch, and yeah, just see like the message that this episode really is trying to send across. So yeah, so I guess that's really the best way I can put it. All right. So I guess that's all I really have to say about it. All right. So this is my review of the Wonder Years Christmas episode, a very cut-lip Christmas. I know this was like kind of like a shorter review, but there really wasn't that much to really talk about because it was like this episode does tell like a relatively simple story. Yeah. But yeah, if you haven't seen it before, give it a watch. All right. So yeah. So I guess that's all I really have to say about this special. So yeah. So I hope you guys did enjoy my review of this special. So yeah, and stay tuned for more Christmas reviews coming up. All right. But I hope you guys did enjoy this one. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.